The members' bill has become a government bill. This is the business on kids and social media. Catherine Wedd's Insta-ban bill stays in the ballot, but Luxon says that parents love this idea. So Erica Stanford has picked up the government work on the under-16 social media restrictions. They're calling them, not a ban, but potential restrictions. Now, Melinda McLean is a social media parenting expert from the new group B416, who's with me this morning. Melinda, good morning.
Kia ora, Ryan.
Good to have you on the show. First of all, this group that's been set up, is this all a coincidence that it's been set up at the time that the government's doing all this stuff?
No, it's not a coincidence. I think there's two things at play. One is that B416 has actually been working on this issue in the background for months, nearly a year. But there's also a point that we're hitting as a society, I think, where we've got this sort of tidal wave of awareness around some of the harm and the issues. So, we are really coming to, I think, a societal turning point, which the government is aware of, as well as parents who are actually sort of waking up to the issues.
Is the problem, it's the age verification thing is a big problem, right? This is what the Australians are having problems with. How do you verify a child's age without us all having to send in a photo of our passports?
Ryan, I think this is a really big misconception, that this can't be done. So there's a couple of things I'd say. So the first is that age verification currently exists within big tech platforms. So they are using their own age verification systems with a lot of accuracy already. And then the other thing I'd say is that there's an entire age verification industry outside of big tech that are working on this as well. The solution is.
So
it's not that they can't do it.
Can you explain how they do it then without?
So there's a couple of different ways, and what we think would be the best way would be a combination of what's called facial recognition, biometric scanning, and then using an ID token to match those two things. And these can be done with over 99% accuracy. That's what all the trials are saying.
So you have to give your biometric data to Facebook.
No, in simple terms, you're not handing over your data. This is done externally by a third party, you don't hand over your data. So it will basically verify an ID token. That doesn't mean you're handing over your data.
So how do they verify it then? I mean, they must have to know that it's yours.
Yeah, there will have to be a linking to this in the same way that we do this with things like RealMe accounts for bank accounts. It's just the issue with verification with something like RealMe is that that's not working on actually determining the difference between a 15 and a 16-year-old. So that's the key
What
issue
about,
here.
Melinda, because there are problems, it could create problems for other people. Isn't this about parents knowing what their kids are doing? If you don't want your kid on social media, don't buy them a smartphone.
I think that is something that would commonly be said by people who are not a parent of a 13 or 14-year-old. But I completely disagree.
To be transparent, that is me.
There we go. Parents are not equipped to face up to what is happening with big tech. It is moving too fast.
But Melinda, but the actually owning the phone in the first place. Explain to me why that is so hard that a parent can't say to their kid, nah. I mean, my mum said no to me about so many things growing up. I wasn't allowed a cell phone. I mean, what's so hard about saying no till you're 16?
Yeah, I think the other thing that legislation will do, because it's a really good point. Why not just say no? But actually, parents are no match for this. And if you're out on a limb with your kid, which at the moment, because the societal norms are so far the other way, those need to shift dramatically. So
parents actually just need to harden up and toughen up.
No, this is not a parenting issue, Ryan. This is, and it is actually unfair to put this onto parents. They cannot be a match for these big tech companies. And while we do need,
but you can if you don't own a phone. Okay, I mean it's simple. Big tech can't get you without a smartphone.
They can get you, and they can get you through iPads and family computers and laptops. And what we're talking about is a really comprehensive overhaul of our online safety reforms for kids in New Zealand. We are shockingly behind.